the moon in the night sky has inspired humanity for millennia. It's been a cultural touchstone for countless civilizations, appearing in mythology, folklore, and art. But it wasn't until relatively recently that we began to understand the moon as a scientifically fascinating and potentially life-sustaining world unto itself. With the advent of space travel, we learned that our natural satellite is rich in resources and could one day become a hub for human industry and even habitation. In this video, we're going to answer the question, could we live on the moon? By taking an in-depth look at some of the most exciting proposed technologies that would allow us to survive and thrive on Earth's rocky companion, could we live on the moon? Let's begin by outlining some of the most significant obstacles that stand in our way. One of the main problems associated with living on the moon is the fact that it has no atmosphere to speak of. Without an atmosphere, there can be no wind, no weather, and most importantly, no oxygen to breathe. If humans were to set foot on the lunar surface without a spacesuit, we would die very quickly from asphyxiation. The moon also has no liquid water on its surface, at least none that we know of. And what little water ice does exist is found in permanently shadowed areas at the poles that are never warmed by the sun. The lack of an atmosphere also means that the temperature on the moon can vary wildly from 100 degrees Celsius during the day to negative 100 degrees Celsius at night. Finally, the moon is bombarded by deadly radiation from both the sun and deep space. Without the protective ozone layer and magnetosphere that shield us here on Earth, we would face lethal levels of radiation every single day. Then there's the small matter of actually getting to the moon, located 384,400 kilometers away. Our natural satellite is a long way from Earth. Transporting people and resource back and forth would be a difficult and expensive undertaking. Overcoming these obstacles would require nothing short of a revolution in technology. But if we can overcome them, the rewards would be great. The moon is rich in resources that could support human industry and scientific research, and as a stepping stone to even more distant worlds. It could be the first jewel in the crown of humanity's interstellar expansion. Here are just a few ways that we might make life possible on the moon. Advanced life support systems. One of the biggest challenges of living on the moon will be sustaining human life. We would need a way to generate breathable air and water from the resources available on the lunar surface. Fortunately, recent advances in life support technology have made this increasingly possible. For example, researchers at the University of Edinburgh have developed a system that can generate breathable air from the thin lunar atmosphere by filtering out carbon dioxide and other impurities. Another system developed by NASA can extract water from lunar soil by heating it to high temperatures. These systems are still in the experimental stages, but they show great promise for future lunar exploration. Radiation shielding, since the moon lacks an atmosphere or magnetic field, it's constantly bombarded by harmful radiation from the sun and deep space. This radiation can damage human cells and increase the risk of cancer and other diseases. To protect against this, we would need to develop new materials and technologies that can effectively shield against radiation. One promising approach is the use of water as a radiation shield. Water is an effective radiation shield because it can absorb and scatter radiation, preventing it from reaching sensitive equipment or personnel. In theory, we could store water in tanks or other containers and use it to shield against radiation. Another approach is the use of magnetic fields to deflect radiation. While this technology is still in the early stages of development, it has the potential to provide effective protection against radiation. Robotics and automation. Robots and automation will play a key role in any future human exploration of the moon. Robots can explore dangerous or inaccessible areas, gather resources, and perform other tasks that would be too risky or difficult for humans. For example, NASA's Perseverance rover is currently exploring the surface of Mars and gathering data about the planet's geology and climate. In the future, similar rovers could explore the moon's surface and gather resources like water and minerals. Robots could also help build and maintain lunar habitats, allowing humans to focus on other tasks. Building a lunar habitat. One of the most exciting aspects of living on the moon is the prospect of building our own lunar habitats. But how exactly would we go about building a habitable structure on an alien world? Several innovative designs have been proposed for inflatable habitats. Modular, lightweight and adaptable structures that could be easily transported to the moon and inflated upon arrival. These habitats could be made from materials such as Kevlar or nylon and would provide a safe and comfortable place for astronauts to live while they explore the lunar surface. Another option is to build underground shelters. The surface of the moon is constantly bombarded by radiation and micrometeoroids, making it a dangerous place to live. An underground shelter would provide protection from these dangers. The lunar regolith, or soil, could be used to build the shelter, and it's possible that the radiation levels underground are much lower than on the surface. 3D printing technology. 3D printing has revolutionized the way we create objects on Earth, and it could do the same for lunar construction. With 3D printing, we could use lunar resources to create custom structures and tools on demand. For example, we could use 3D printing to create tools that are specifically designed to help us gather resources or build habitats. We could also use it to create structures such as shelters or even entire buildings. A lunar lifeline. Most important resource for any human colony would be water. And fortunately, the moon has plenty of it, or at least it could. The problem is that most of the water on the moon is in the form of ice found in permanently shadowed craters at the poles. These areas never receive direct sunlight, and so the water ice remains frozen. To reach this ice, we would need to develop new technologies for drilling through the hard lunar crust. Once we can access these ice reserves, we could use them not only for drinking and agriculture, but also for fuel. By processing the water into hydrogen and oxygen, we could use it to power rockets and other spacecraft. The moon also has a number of other resources that could be used to sustain a human colony. For example, there is evidence that the moon contains significant amounts of helium-3, an isotope of helium that is rare on Earth but abundant on the moon. Helium-3 could be used to produce energy through nuclear fusion, which could power our lunar habitats and even be used to generate electricity on Earth. Other resources, such as silicon and aluminum, could be used to build new technologies and infrastructure on the moon. To ensure the long-term sustainability of a lunar colony, we would need to develop closed-loop life support systems that recycle and reuse resources. For example, we could use the oxygen that is exhaled by humans to replenish the atmosphere of our habitats. And we could use the water that is recycled from our waste to water crops for food. By developing these systems, we could reduce our dependence on resources from Earth and ensure that our colonies are self-sufficient. The future of lunar living. The challenges associated with living on the moon are many, but the potential rewards are even greater. With the right technology, we could establish a permanent research based on the moon that would allow us to study its origins and potential for human habitation. We could also develop lunar tourism, providing paying visitors with once-in-a-lifetime experiences and unique opportunities to observe the cosmos. Perhaps most importantly, the moon could serve as a stepping stone to off-world colonization. As we continue to explore and develop the resources of our natural satellite, we will gain valuable experience and knowledge that could one day allow us to colonize even more distant worlds such as Mars. In the centuries to come, the moon could become a bustling hub of human activity, a gateway to the stars and a testament to the ingenuity and determination of our species. What do you think? Is it possible for humans to live on the moon? What are some of the other challenges and opportunities that we haven't considered? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And make sure to subscribe for more videos of this channel. Thanks for watching.